did you all see the documentary Tiger King? Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Right.
We all
So
went through quarantine.
right. Yeah, exactly, bro. They had all this video. I'm like, where did they have all this documentation from? They've been documenting all this stuff forever. And all of a sudden, this Tiger King. No, I didn't know that a Tiger King existed. No one knew about that. Yes, it's crazy, but the point is that they had all this recording and all this stuff, and they're able to tell a story, right, about how all this happened. And so we could potentially do the same thing. And at that point, we can now open it up to the larger public, where before then, it's only open to actual investors, accredited investors, right?
Everyone, welcome to Red Summer Holdings, a real estate partnership comprising of 8 owners, Tochi, myself, Zoe, Ramad, Charles, Ikechi, Chima, Innocent, and Ike. Here we discuss the evolution of our business, which shows you how group economics can be successful in regards to real estate. If you believe there is value in this information, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. With that being said, let's get to the content you've all been waiting for.
This is the basics of our website. It's on the Squarespace. I just got redsummerholdings.com, and I broke it into just 3 tabs. So the first tab is going to be our vision. We got to figure out what we're going to put here. And again, this is basically a quick resource for, in the beginning, for right now, lenders, but later on for, whoever. This will be our website. So let me think. So there'll be the vision part. In our vision, we'll say, who we are, what we care about. We should just discuss this. What should we put in our, well, let me break it down first. So the vision and then the team. So the team page will have, first name, last name of each of us and a little bit about who we are. And then, let me see the last part. The last thing we'll have is our process. So our process is basically where we'll put our meetings is what I'm thinking. Our meetings in a bit of a timeline on our progress. So we can put the checklist here, analysis here, things of that nature. But like post 2 right here would essentially be like meeting 2. So this would be a thumbnail, or before would have been a thumbnail to a meeting, and then you could watch the meetings right here, or any podcast version or whatever it is you want, our media basically. So initially, any of you guys have any ideas or any thoughts about the layout? And then what are your thoughts on what we should put for this part, our vision? And then team breakdown is personal blurbs. And then we'll be posting our processes or our meetings whenever we have them.
Yeah, the layout is cool. I think the layout's clean, simple, tabs that make sense. I think maybe the first question is, who's the audience? Is this for our people who want to go on this journey with us and who want to experience the things that we're experiencing in terms of how we're growing the real estate portfolio and all that, and understanding how we do our analysis? Or it's the audience, people, institutions, banks, credit unions, whoever, who want to invest with us and want to know that what our strategy is, and know that we're vetted and that we know what we're doing. I feel like we kind of have to decide that first. This feels to me more like, at least I initially thought the website was going to be for institutions just to kind of check us out. But then when I look at our process page where you have all the different posts, that feels more like people kind of going on the journey with us. So I feel like we should maybe hash that out first, and then that'll answer some of the other questions. But the layout's clean. I like it. We don't have to do anything fancy. I like the minimalist kind of approach.
Yeah, for the, it's honestly, well, in my mind, it's both. But the vision, this part is for lenders, in the beginning at the very least. And then, the team page is for lenders. The back end, that's just really a repository. If you want to follow us, it'll probably be on social media. You probably wouldn't be coming to this, but it's just a place to put our stuff. If you want, or if we decide we can take it out, doesn't really matter. But
all right, that's cool. So
this side is for lending.
If we all agree that this is for institutions, for lenders, for potential partners, whatever, cool, then it makes sense. So our vision is more or less hey, we intend to create value with the real estate portfolio, understanding that real estate is a tremendous investment asset because it's a store of value, right? Like you buy something, it's worth whatever you paid for it. But while you own it, it also pays you, right? So you get both cash flow and equity at the same time, right? If you do it right. So we can just kind of lay that out with pretty words. So definitely there. We probably want to describe the fact that like in the vision that like, you know, one of the things that sets us apart is our willingness to like be creative and use technology to make, you know, leveraging technology, right? Which makes the world smaller. Like we can live, we're across the country, you know, New York, LA, San Francisco, and anywhere in between. And yet we can invest in Memphis, we can invest in Cincinnati, we can invest anywhere. And talk about how, so our vision should be, you know, our focus is real estate, portfolio real estate specifically, finding value where it might be overlooked, increasing value based on our operations, and then using technology as a means to give ourselves a presence basically anywhere. If we can kind of like make our vision, describe that in like bullet points, I think that's short, concise, to the point, and it's like, okay, I get it. So I think something like that is going to really make us, that's a great first impression.
In regards to audience, from a regulatory standpoint, if and when we do actually raise outside money that isn't, you know, bank debt, you know, equity from outside investors, limited partners, those investors will have to be accredited, depending on, you know, the nature of our investment structure from a regulatory standpoint. So considering that, it may make sense to tailor this message towards what's considered sophisticated investor, quote unquote, because ultimately those are the investors that will be allowed to take money from, because a website or YouTube or Twitter or whatever is considered open advertisement. It's not friends and family. So once a website is involved, then, you know, those regulations are involved, and we have to check accreditation. We have to check basically that the person has the financial wherewithal to invest in something passively that they don't have control over. So that's just a note to keep in mind.
What we're doing is, oh, go ahead, sorry.
You're saying we have,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ramad, go ahead.
you're saying we have to credit our investors? What if they want to be like a silent investor?
No, so basically how syndications work, at least from a regulatory standpoint, is there's, I'm not exactly sure this is a term, but it's the 506B versus 506C syndication status, where one of them allows for you to raise money from only accredited investors, and that's much easier to obtain. And the other allows you to raise money from anybody, but the cost and time it takes to get to that level is substantial. So most syndications only allow accredited investors because of that, because it's cost prohibitive to allow people to, you know, bring in small amounts of money. But if they're considered quote unquote friends and family, people you knew before and didn't just simply advertise to or meet for the purpose of investment, then smaller amounts of money are allowed to be invested from those people. Obviously something we should get, you know, a tax lawyer or accountant involved in to get the details on.
Okay.
But by introducing the website, we have in effect advertised our syndication.
What are you about to say, Ike?
So at this phase though, right? So we're raising capital ourselves. We might bring on limited partners who we know and have a personal relationship with, and we're looking for lending from actual financial institutions, right? We're not going for like a, you know, VC money or some like private individual who's accredited. Like, am I right about that?
Yeah. And the only reason I bring it up is because we were talking about audience. So, you know, if the audience is just our friends and family, then none of what I said matters. But if the audience is outside investors who want to associate with us simply because they want to invest with us, then that sort of regulatory stuff comes into play.
Gotcha. That's a good point. I mean, you know, I'll say, I think for my mind, I think whatever we do, we should build with that in mind. So in a sense, we don't want to have to repeat these steps down the line, right? We don't have to do a website now and have to redo a website in the future. It's just more for whoever who built the website. So I think that's a good point, Ike. And also it's a good point that Chuck made about just trying to, streamline this website towards the target audience. Like when I'm thinking of people who have huge, social media presence, say like Joe Rogan, right? I'm sure if you go to joerogan.com, I don't think he has, actually, let me just check it now. I don't think he has, posts to his, YouTube things on his webpage. I wonder how people like that who have big YouTube followings, how they market their kind of websites.
He has tour dates for his comedy because he's a comedian.
Yeah.
And then the podcast.
Well, Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan was like a
podcast.
brand, right? He was a brand before the podcasting. Like he had his own thing going. The podcasting, and then he has the UFC stuff as well. So like he was already that, and so he can just do joerogan.com and have links to his other.
I think we're closer to somebody like.
I guess my bigger point is that the process tab, right, doesn't have to necessarily have links to the videos if we do a good job of organizing them on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
so
you probably just want to put the social media icons like in the header or the footer, right? Yeah. And then someone just clicks and gets to it.
So like over here somewhere.
Yeah. Things, exactly.
Probably at the top.
At least very early on, the website should be extremely basic. Just our vision or what we're looking for in terms of investments, then our personal bios, maybe a few links. That's it. Just to keep it simple early on. If and when we want to make it a little more robust, fantastic. But I think what we have right now, obviously, changing the information on the website to show exactly what we want it to look like. But other than that, I don't think we need to do much more from a website standpoint.
Yeah.
I think
definitely agree. I was gonna say I do some interviews with people in finance who might have hedge funds, and sometimes I go into their website to see exactly what they do just to get an idea before an interview. And sometimes you just really cannot get an idea. You just have a website saying we invest money XYZ, and it's so basic. So if you want any more information, you really have to connect.
I can tell you that's by design because of the regulatory aspects of it. For instance, my company's website, literally all that's on there is our logo and a contact us link that you can use to reach us, and that's it. Because especially after 2008, advertisement in the investment industry is extremely regulated, and we have to on what's called a U4, which is basically your document that's filed with the SEC. You have to put all of your social media, all of your websites, any sort of footprint you have online, you have to file it with the SEC, and they actually check that stuff. So unless there is a material gain from having information online, an investment finance company will most likely not have much on a website or Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. It's a good point. I think if we imagine at some point the financing coming from bigger than just us 8 and bigger than just an actual bank.
Imagine that's the idea.
Yeah. So I think
we're definitely doing that.
And everything Ike says, you should take that into consideration for sure. Also, I think as we kind of go along, I think I'm sensitive to scope creep, right? So I think buy enough more than we can chew at each step. I think one, it just becomes not sustainable for people who have like jobs, right? So for instance, I don't think Chizo's gonna be able to like do a YouTube thing every single week if we have to. It's just hard, right, to consistently do it every couple of weeks or whatever. He has family, he has kids, he has jobs, so we need to be sensitive to like everyone's time. So let's try not recreate the wheel if we don't have to. The goal is just to just give money to make money. I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So let's not try to. I think at some point, let's not bite off more than we can chew at each time point.
And the beauty of the content is that, once it's recorded, it lives forever, right? So if we have hundreds of hours of content and 3 years down the line, we want to really make a push into social, or YouTube or whatever, we can hire somebody to comb through all of that, find the gems, post it incrementally over, say 6 months, and it'll be as if we posted it from day one. So like the beauty of that is that, it'll always be there. But like Chima said, we should, stay focused and obviously introduce some of these things as we go along, but keep our eyes on the prize.
Yeah, I think longer term, not even that long term, honestly, maybe perhaps in the next year, getting a social media manager. It could be anybody. It could be just a freaking undergrad who, whatever, you pay them whatever you want to pay them as a contract worker, and they organize everything, make your YouTube page look nice, make your Instagram page look nice, do some little like targeted advertising things. I mean, it's pretty cheap to get a social media manager, quote unquote, for like less than $1,000. Not this very second, but if we if we got to that point, I think it might be something worth doing. Same way as you get, we'll probably get an accountant and things like that. It's one thing I want to think about doing. Just because trying to have any single person do it, man, it's a lot of work. So thankful for Cheese at this time point, but I know it's one thing to do it in the short term, but long term, it can be pretty arduous.
I don't think any of us. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. In terms of what Chima's saying, right? It kind of cycles back to where Innocent started all of this, right? So starting the website with our vision. So like what our vision is, like the mission and what our plan is. As we go along, we can streamline our thinking to say, anything we're doing, does it help inform like what our goal is, right? Does social media help that? If it's like part of it, make money is one of it. Part of it is like when it's like buying up the block. Thinking about those things that we said we want to do, the inception of all of this. Does social media help that? Does some other thing that we're doing on the side help inform that goal? Is it just wasted energy? I mean, not really wasted energy, but it's about to kind of distract, right? In Chima's words, like scope creep, right? So mission creep or whatever it is, however you want to define it. But yeah, the idea is like whatever we're doing, does it inform that larger goal? And if it doesn't, then even though we might be interested in it, but then it's like it doesn't, it's not in line with where we're headed. So we'll just like fix it out.
I think when this all came up initially, I think one point, I can't remember who it was who brought it up, was to legitimize us, right? To get in investment. Like, we're new, starting out, so having some kind of presence makes you look like, okay, this is legitimate. So I think that's one of the beauties of it. Then I think we talked about this for a little bit about trying to monetize the content, and then we said we were not going to do that because this should be it should be free, right? So that's why it became as a free YouTube video as opposed to something that we kind of curated and tried to sell. So fast forward, and we're here now. But I see a point. Like, I think we just have to kind of just stay focused. I think our priority is still raise funds, buy the spot in Memphis, and keep building.
So here's a question, right? So I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I get not wanting to put too much out there because of all of the regulatory stuff, and I agree. Vision page, definitely. Contact us form, definitely. Does it make sense to have, and I know we're not there yet, but does it make sense to have a tab that says like fund 1, and then whenever we do end up buying something, it's just like, hey, either like numbers of what's in the fund, or probably don't want to put specific properties. That's not a good look. But does it make sense to have like just numbers, like a high level? Or would that also be considered like too much?
I think
a lot of what I've seen
is
when they have their portfolio page, they'll just have a photo of the property and then the purchase price underneath it,
right?
And possibly the date where they acquired it, and that's it, which is fine because it shows that you're actually doing something.
That's exactly where I was going ahead with that, right? Like we want to show, like, right now. I mean, people love to see follow through, right? So somebody who's looking at us right now is like, it's already like a step to like declare what your intention is. Most people have all these goals and desires and they never actually say it. They just keep it to themselves. So we're taking the step and say, hey, like, this is what we plan on doing. Then, you know, whenever it comes to fruition, hey, this is what we actually did, right? And then the next step would be, right? So like being able to kind of have that online is actually, I think, again, another thing that just sets you apart, right? Like a lot of things are real secretive. And I think if that ends up being part of our brand, that like we're transparent but professional, right? So like we're not going to violate any of the regulatory stuff that Ike's mentioning, but at the same time, like we're not going to make you, you know, click submit your email address to get information about us. Like, no, like it's not a secret. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're doing. We can stand on it. Like, this is legit. So I would like to operate in that space.
Yeah, it's the proof is in the pudding kind of stuff. Yeah.
All right, so it looks like go ahead. But we gotta this gotta be the last thought because it's 9:34 already.
Yeah, and I think having that portfolio, a portfolio tab is good. One, I think it tends to, it keeps us refocused. I mean, it's like in a sense, our goal is to fill up our freaking portfolio tab, right? Have as many freaking things in our freaking portfolio as possible, right?
Exactly.
So I think our vision, who we are, portfolio tab, that's it, and whether they want a picture or not, but yeah, I mean, a picture of the place, like Ike said, purchase price, purchase date, that's it. Then number 2, and we can even label, RSF fund 1, RSF fund 2, however you guys want to do it. But I think that would be, I think I'm with that. Okay. And also, in a sense, our process, and it's not a trade secret, right? But in a sense, it's we're being very transparent with how we're doing this, which is good. I know a lot of places keep that stuff close to chest, right? Whatever their process is, whatever their secret sauce is, it's like you don't know the secret McDonald's secret sauce for whatever their Big Mac, right? So we're opening it up. So we're being very open with it. In a sense, I think if people want to learn more, after seeing this, they would have to click on the YouTube and watch those things, and we'll get money from the YouTube views in a sense, right? So I guess my point is, in a sense, having a big YouTube following is also financially beneficial to us if we get, many views. Yep. And that'll have to be a separate conversation as to what we'll do with those funds. Like when they come in, are they going to be part of just kind of operational funds i.e. to say you use those funds to like hire a social media manager? Are we going to use those funds to buy new properties, right? Let's say you're getting like $100 a month, every single month from YouTube, right? At some point we'll have to figure out exactly how we're going to address those funds. But that's a whole different side issue.
Well, I think more realistically, like whatever we make off of YouTube, it'll be nice. It'll be, whatever that is, it'll be a bonus. But I think the real value is people who are interested in this contacting us directly and saying, hey, I want to be down, right? Like Correct. That's the thing. That's really what it is. Like, getting half of a penny per YouTube click is nice, but that's not really what it's going to be. It's going to be people saying, oh man, like these guys are like me, or I've been trying to get into something like this. I like these guys, and they can use the contact us form, and they'll say, hey, the next time you guys have a fund, I want to be in it or whatever. Like that, to me, that's really that's what I would want out of the YouTube and out of the socials. That's the value they bring. It's letting people know that we exist. So they can contact us, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a bit.
This is the modern day way of. This is the modern day way of marketing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Chim. Go ahead.
I got it.
Do you guys really want that? Say, like some random viewer on YouTube says, like, Joe Small, I like what these guys are doing. I want to give them money. I want to be an investor with them. Like, would you guys? I'm a little bit leery of that, of taking people's money who I've never met or are quote unquote unaccredited, to using IK's term, right? An unaccredited investor wants to give you money for X thing, and because once you get money, you're responsible to use those funds, how are you going to use those funds, and they need to get statements and all these other things. I don't necessarily know if that's something we want to take on at this point or at any point soon. It's one to take someone's money who's like, big time, right? Say some other like, I don't know, an accredited investor who owns blah, 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 wants to like diversify someone and likes what we're doing, versus some random guy in Kansas who's watching our videos and says, what are you doing? I want to invest with them. I think there's just different levels of risk there. So it's
we have to do our due diligence
Yeah, we wouldn't take random guys money from Kansas if, especially if he's unaccredited.
Yeah.
Because we don't know him and we can't prove that he is like financially, he has a financial acumen to make that type of decision, and so we're liable for that. But even then, I don't anticipate us needing to take outside money for, you know, a couple of funds. The point is just to get that wheel spinning so that it doesn't become like overwhelming at the in the time when it is time to do that, you know. And as far as anything to do with our social media or that, all of that is literally simply for exposure. Like, we should do the same thing we would do if we didn't put, but simply because we're transparent and we have nothing to hide and there's many gems here, to be honest, then we should give them, like, because people don't know this type of stuff that we just, for, to be completely honest, like, mostly not our doing, have access to and understand and can take advantage of and can use to help other people. So like, we don't even necessarily, even the pennies or whatever we get, fine, we like hire a virtual assistant or like some social media person, let them deal with that. But like, the primary goal, which will be in our vision, is to take funds and put them to good use for ourselves and other people. Pretty simply, like, you don't need to.
Just pigtailing off of. Okay, go ahead.
Just hear me out. This is a random idea, right? So we're doing all of this. We have content where whatever recording, whatever it is, we have all this content. What if we just kept doing what we're doing? We keep our content, and say in 5 years, then we can bring someone on board to really do something with that content, right? And the whole thing is that we catalog everything because we're dating everything in the process of how we're going. So it keeps it easy, right? The videos are all dated and everything, right? So it's not, that part went too hard. Now it's like, now at that point, people can now see how we started, right? And we would have more money to even do that on a bigger scale if we wanted to, and if we wanted to sort of like come out at that point and say like, this is who we are, and this is how we got here. What got me thinking about this is it's so crazy. Like, did you all see the documentary Tiger King?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Right? We all went through quarantine.
Right? Yeah, exactly, bro. They had all this video. I'm like, where did they have all this documentation from? They've been documenting all this stuff forever. And all of a sudden, this Tiger King. No, I didn't know that a Tiger King existed. No one knew about that. Yes, it's crazy, but the point is that they had all this recording and all this stuff, and they were able to tell a story, right, about how all this happened. And so we could potentially do the same thing. And at that point, we can now open it up to the larger public, where before then, it's only open to actual investors, accredited investors, right? But then when it's open, but yeah, it's just an idea, but you know, I was thinking about that.
That's like, sort of what's happening actually, because like, we're not going to be, you know, we're not going to go viral, super popping for a while, like, until we show and prove anyway. So we're kind of hiding in plain sight. Like, no one's necessarily, it's only us who are, you know, we have our focus on this and we're dealing with it. So we're thinking about it, but there's a bajillion distractions, you know what I'm saying? And
you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like, you know, a new artist, a new musician comes out, and like, man, this song is dope. This guy's dope. And then you go back and you find out, they've been making music for like 5 years, and you find out like, man, like his first mixtape was even more fire. He been that guy. So it's almost like that's kind of what we're doing right now. Is like we're dropping our mixtape right now, right? This is like, you know, all the stuff Kanye was doing before College Dropout. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, man, we've been cold. So I think I'm almost starting to think that maybe our strategy could be like, you know, we've done a great job being consistent, right? Every 2 weeks, I don't think we missed a single like, you know, meeting, which is incredible, right? So let's just keep doing this. Let's record it for ourselves. And then I like what Zoe did of like pulling like a little 2-minute clip out, because there's going to be a gem that comes out every single time.
Yeah.
So if the commitment is maybe not posting the full hour, because we're just like, the production value isn't going to be there. Like, we're all ripping and running and stuff. But like, if we can just like post a snippet, that might actually be pretty useful, right? Like, if you can draw out like a little 5-minute nugget where like we're on a roll, or like a little 2-minute snippet, and we can like kind of just drop that currently, right? And then like IK said, later, right, somebody goes through and combs through everything and like puts it together really, really nice. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that mean no process page then? Because that was what that was.
I think the process page. I like 3 tabs. Keeps it nice and short and clean. I think having a portfolio tab as opposed to a process page. A
Correct.
process
We
tab.
don't have a portfolio yet.
I know, but that's our goal, right? The entire goal of this whole thing is to get a portfolio. So I think that's
we're gonna have one pretty soon, though. If you think about it, like I don't know exactly what our number is, but we're I don't know, 15,000, right? And then we all agree to do like a one-time bump up to get us even closer, right? So like we're gonna be at like 25,000 pretty soon.
Yeah,
that's all we need to buy something, right? Because we're gonna put some money down to take out debt. So it's closer than we actually think, you know?
Right, guys. But what I'm talking about is, for the lenders, when they see this,
they don't care about
lenders aren't gonna look at our website.
Care about our social media, bro.
They ain't gonna look at our website, right?
I mean, not for like
they're gonna look at your credit score, your P&L.
Will it make money? Will it make money? That's
the property, the appraisal.
We gotta move on to the next because we went over. Which
we
we're
did.
We're gonna forever go over. Let's just be honest here.
I
don't know. Yeah, someone needs to actually be a timekeeper.
Yeah.
And this is 30 minutes on the dot.
All right.
No, but I think that takes the pressure off. Like if we agree that like, hey, like we're not intending for this to be like, we're not performing this in front of, on Saturday Night Live. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. We need to go on a roll and then have those like 5-minute clips where we're on a roll, 2-minute clips where we're on a roll. And have
consistency. That's all.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to be stressed out about like somebody having the official role as timekeeper. I like the organic conversation because there's going to be something that somebody that we can pull out just to post to keep, you know what I mean? Like that's how we should look at it. This shouldn't become a job for us. This should be something we're interested in doing, something that like we enjoy doing. And then like people can experience it with us. Like we don't need that formal structure just yet. We'll hire like IK said, we'll hire some social media manager at some point. You know what I mean? Like, and that can be their job.
Well, then
social media is just our marketing. But let's go to the next topic.
No, well, hold on.
Go ahead.
For our vision, we didn't actually. We said we said very empirical hard steps, but we didn't say like an actual vision.
Here's the bullet points. Our vision is we want to use real estate as a means to. I think somebody said something along the lines of like do good and make money and do good or something like that. That's always nice and fluffy.
Do well by doing good.
Right. But we recognize, so it should be something that, hey, look, we recognize that real estate is a tremendous investment vehicle because it is both a store of value. You buy a property today, it's still you don't have the cash in your hand, but you have this building that is worth $100,000. But so it's a store of value. Like someone can steal your $100,000 out of your pocket. Right, they can break in your house and take your safe, whatever. They can't steal your building, right? So it's a great store of value, and it also generates income and revenue for you while you own it. So just like that bullet point, I'm telling you, when people read that, they're gonna be like, "Oh, these guys know what the F they're talking about," right? Yeah. There's that bullet point number one. Second bullet point, we have a diverse background, seeing that we're on different industries. And we have seen the transformation that can happen in urban areas, right? We're from big cities and we've seen how they've changed over time. So we see how real estate is dynamic, right? It's not a stagnant thing. So that's bullet point number 2. Bullet point number 3, what's going to set us apart is the fact that we are young enough, educated enough, interested enough, whatever word you want to use technology to give us even though we're not there physically, to give us a presence in any market. So we have the advantage of our operations, right? That we will leave no stone unturned looking for deals because we know how to use technology to give us a presence anywhere. Those 3 bullet points, that's all you need on the vision, right? And we intend to, combine all these things, to make Red Summer, a vehicle that does well by doing good or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
The job.
Yeah. Like that social impact, you can make a social impact statement, that doing well by doing good. I think that the challenge would be like, okay, how is that going to happen? There are a few ways that can happen, right? So, but
you know what? Sorry. we can make it. We can make it so that, like, because I think sometimes with that stuff, it feels a little like forced, and it feels a little like, damn, like, okay, we really don't have any money, but we said we were going to donate, so now we got to donate. I honestly think that, like, it's impactful to freaking be transparent, to be young, to look the way we look. Like, that's impactful enough. Like, you know, people always talk about, like, man, I never saw somebody like me doing X, Y, and Z. Well, now people can, right? That's impactful.
Well, isn't that one of the main reasons? Isn't that one of the main reasons we started this, though, right?
That's why we chose the name too, right? Exactly. All of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Our social impact doesn't have to be like, we don't have to, like, you know, I don't want to say pretentious, but, like, we don't have to say we're creating a charity. Like, nah, like, that's cool and all, but we're not there yet, and we shouldn't, like, force it. Like, our social impact is being exactly the way we are, and letting people see us.
It's kind of like, is this hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like when Obama, you know, was president for 8 years, and then all of a sudden all these kids were like, all right, I'm going to be president now. You know, like Chuck was saying, us just being an example for people in our community, that will give them motivation to, you know.
So,
Well said.
Yeah.
So
try to do similar things.
You muted yourself, and your reception is trash. And this goddamn bunker hospital.
All right, I'm gonna stop talking. Yeah, I can't do it at Highland. I can't.
I was trying to be inspired by you, but then you cut out.
So a few things, like Zoe was saying.
All right, go ahead.
Representation matters, right?
Yeah,
of course. Our representation in presenting ourselves as young Black men who have grown up essentially all grown up in the inner city, and we are here as testimonies, the testimony, you know, to empower other people to say that they can do this, and in our process showing how we did this, the strategies and all of that to
show you how you do it, how you can.
That is an impact. I do think that, Chuck, I think one thing you left out when you in the list was something Zoe posted with the group economics. I think the concept of group economics should be actually spelled out. I think that's important. Like, you know, just people coming together to do something like this, because you can do it on your own. It's just so much harder, and you can raise capital on your own. Obviously, again, so much harder. When you have multiple people, you know, it just makes it a lot easier. And you can
get a great point. That's a great point. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so remembering that if you want to go quickly, you go alone. But if you want to go and go for a long time, you bring your people with you. But actually, we're gonna go quicker, bringing our people with us. So I don't. That doesn't actually really work here. Now I think about it, this would be significantly further and faster.
And you diversify, you spread out the risk. You know.
Yeah, you spread the risk. You go further. Like we'll all be, you know, property owners, and be able to leverage that, because that is honestly the first step. The first step is to be able to say that you've done it before.
Yeah.
Like outside of that, you need somebody to believe in. First, you got to believe in yourself and believe something that doesn't exist, and then you have to accomplish getting somebody else with cash to believe that you can do better with their cash than the decisions they make. And then you have to do that over and over and over again. It gets easier over time. And the markets shift, and all types of exterior factors impact that. But just believing you can get off the ground in the first place is like a very, very tall mountain to climb. And so this is like an expression of that, simply, I think. Can we move on?
Who's writing the vision? Who's going to write the vision statement?
I mean, I whoever wants to write it, I always assume that if no one else wants to do it, I'll just do it. And if we don't like it, we can, you know, critique it, feedback, whatever.
Edit it or get an editor.
Yeah, is there a document in the shared Google Drive? Like we'll just edit it. We'll edit it there. And then I guess, you know, you're kind of the web admin at the moment. So like when somebody makes an edit, we'll just let you know, and then you can copy paste and update it.
Y'all have to understand the seriousness of the danger of leaving me to be any type of technological advisor.
I mean, you got it this far though, right?
Yeah, you've been doing great.
Yeah, I'm surprising myself as much as you guys are surprised. But look, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you know, do you know how long it took me to upload this picture, to get this picture right? This picture with IK and Shadow the Great. It took a long time. I'm
If
not
it's any
good at this
consolation, we're probably not going to get much foot traffic on the website anytime soon. So I
stuff.
don't think
Thank
you
you.
should worry
Feel
about
so much
it.
better.
Yeah.
Feel
And
much
next
better.
I would
topic.
say having the dog is great for any business as a mascot. So IK, that is a great picture. A dog is great.
You guys would like seeing yourselves on the
Sweet.
website.
So it will be I guess it'll start it on the Google Drive. You can edit on there, and then
Yeah.
so we get something everyone's happy with. Cool.
And also send me your, so what should we do for the bio? It should be simple, like not even words, just 3 bullet points? Or what? How should they look?
I thought we discussed that, we came to agreement that it's kind of like a business card, and we're just going to be collectively saying something as one, as opposed to everybody saying something individually. At least that's what I got from the last.
Well, even then we could rationalize that for the vision, but unless you don't want our team page.
Why don't we just do name and occupation?
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody send me the name and the occupation you want.
And
Or the words you want to put.
the other option I was going to say is you could do name and like a link to your LinkedIn or something.
Even better. The occupation.
I gotta clean my LinkedIn up.
Yeah.
Send me whatever you want for your thing, and send me the picture that you want.
Yeah. So
And I'll
the
have it up
team
before next
the team page should just be a list of general partners, and it's going to be the 8 of us, and just a link to our LinkedIn.
Okay.
And then the only thing that's missing here, there should be a contact us form or a contact us page or something, which just, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. Those
With our-
I'll put one up. Though they personally annoy me, but I think that is a good idea. You don't think that we should just put redsummerholdings@gmail.com right here?
Yeah, you can.
People
There,
like
that's-
forms. I don't know why. Just this form. Just we need a form.
Okay, I'll put
Really?
that one.
God, I hate those
Forms are
forms,
dumb.
but okay.
Do we want to
Okay.
mention in like a quick sentence, like why we got the name Red Summer Holding, or
Nope,
just
look
leave
it up.
that? Let
That's a
them
good
figure it out.
point. That's a good point.
gem for
That's a
later.
video.
That's a gem for later. Later when
Yeah.
people be like, "Where does that come from?" Be like,
I
"Oh,
smell a
wouldn't you
Black
like to
History
know?"
Month post.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that should actually be
Exactly, exactly.
when we're all on CNN talking
2023.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2023 we'll do a Red Summer.
Because Red Summer Holdings just sounds like a cool name.